and they've obviously went. I can hear you typing away there.
No, sorry, mate. It's
smashing the keys. I'm sorry. I'll start that one again in a minute.
Take a sip of tea, man, for God's sake.
I need to soak my tea off my fingers. I spilt it there.
Ah, Tetley.
Hi everyone, and welcome to the next episode of the iReady podcast. As ever, I'm your host Derek, and with me is my co-host Dave.
Derek, you could put this on a sort of repeat, that start bit, because it's all we seem to say at the beginning is welcome, and my usual, I'm your host Derek, my co-host Dave. It's just as if that nobody wants to speak to us or come on the show anymore, Derek, you know what I mean? It's just me and you. But
well,
no,
I've changed it from hi folks anyway. Sounds a bit too fucking weird, that.
No, I know. It's no. I'm happy. I'm happy to be doing this, Derek. I know we've got a lot to speak about, and unlike a certain manager, I'll not change my mind at the last minute and bugger off and do something else. You know what I mean?
Well, it took you long enough to come onto this bloody podcast tonight, so I thought you had done that.
No, and then I would get you. I would demand that you give me an apology as well at the same time.
Yes, we'll talk about that in a very short minute. So we will go down the tunnel and onto the pitch.
Yes.
Right, so before we even get into the games, obviously, I think we need to talk about the manager situation. So obviously by now everybody knows, after the Aberdeen game last Sunday, on the Tuesday we officially asked for permission to speak to Derek McInnes, and it was refused pretty much instantly. He didn't take the next two training sessions, and he didn't do a presser, and he was locked in talks with the Don's chairman for the next 2 days, and then on Thursday, kind of round about 5 o'clock, he decided he wasn't taking the job.
Yeah.
We that night issued then a disgraceful statement, effectively saying that Derek McInnes didn't have the bottle for the job. Fully agree with that, but it shouldn't have been made public that way. The way it was. And it appears that there's been talks behind the scenes over the last few weeks, with even Derek McInnes talking about who's going to replace Jack in the team for the Ross County game. McInnes has since came out and intimated family reasons. He also said that he didn't feel welcome enough because of the 6-week wait, and he says he's got unfinished business at Aberdeen. What exactly that is, I really don't know. And he didn't want to destroy the relationships that he built within Aberdeen. Well, that's the nature of the beast. If you want to move on, you do have to, leave certain people and the fans and relationships that you've built up. It's the same in life. That's what happens. What do you think of the whole situation, Dave?
Can I tell you what I honestly think's happened, Derek? And again, I can only go on rumour, but the more and more that I've heard this rumour, the more I think it could possibly be. I think it's taken 6 weeks for us to approach Derek McInnes, because I think that we had someone else in mind, and they have been pursuing that person. Whether or not it's been one of the three managers that have been moving about in England or not, I think it all fell through. And they've decided then, right, we'll go for McInnes. It's the only sort of reasonable explanation that I can come up with that has taken so long. Now, Derek, both me and you, and I think the vast majority of other Rangers fans out there, are really not that fussed that he didn't take the job. Right, let's be perfectly honest. I think we're just more disappointed in the way that it's all came about, and as you say, the absolutely pathetic, laughable statement that was put out by PR at the club, which we were all rather cringeworthy, wasn't it? We should have just have, and I've heard a lot of other people saying it, we should have just came out with a statement was something along the lines of, we respect your decision and we wish you all the best, and that's it basically. But I think it made us look pretty what's the word I'm looking for? I'll not say foolish, but it made us look rather amateurish, I think, Derek, the way that they went about it. And I think everybody knows who was behind it, although there's been some other people saying, no, it certainly wasn't him that was behind it. But again, it just makes it look a bit of a farce, Derek, doesn't it? And maybe McInnes was right. Maybe if Rangers had went straight away as soon as Coutinho was away and made an approach, then he might be in charge by now. But it wasn't to be. He's still the Aberdeen manager. We've still got Graham Murray in charge, which I'm happy with, Derek. I think I've been really impressed with Graham Murray. We'll get into the games soon. But as I said to you, why spend £1 million on a manager who I think will only get a second place, instead of a manager that we've got in at the moment who I think could get a second place regardless with the team that he's got. So we'll just have to wait and see. I don't know what your thoughts are on it, Derek. Do you, like me, think that they initially went for somebody else and it all fell through and this is how it's all came about?
Yeah, I think that's probably been the case, and I think they were waiting for somebody that maybe potentially to deal with maybe either the Champions League games or the maybe the World Cup, and it's not worked out that way.
Yeah, it's as you were saying, it's I was actually thinking more of maybe one of the managers down south that took one of the jobs recently. I think that there had maybe been holding out for that and it fell through, and that's that. But I mean, Derek McInnes, if it is family reasons, fair enough. Maybe his family absolutely love it. And at Aberdeen, I don't know. Just a bit of a strange decision. That everything that's came about from our club, from him.
The strange thing is that I think his family are actually still in Glasgow.
Really?
So, I mean, this is the thing, is obviously what annoyed me was a lot of Rangers fans blaming the board instantly when it turned out he refused, and we didn't, at that stage, nobody knew what the hell had happened. All we knew that is he had turned it down, and it since became quite clear that he was effectively accepted the job by from all accounts, from what the stories that are coming out, and he certainly wanted the job, because you don't miss 2 training sessions and don't do a presser and get yourself locked in talks with your chairman if you don't want the job. And for whatever reason, I think he's shat it. I think he's quite comfortable where he is. He knows there's not as much pressure. His whole legacy building with Aberdeen, well, he's won a cup and he's got second place 3 times. The cup is the only thing, the 2 cups are the only thing he can really win. He will never ever win the league with Aberdeen. And he's got the second place 3 times because Rangers haven't been there, Hibs haven't been there, and Hearts haven't been there. So, it's the best he'll ever get with Aberdeen. So I don't know exactly what, legacy he's trying to build.
Yeah.
And the whole 6 weeks thing, I can maybe understand he feels a wee bit aggrieved about that. But if he needs a cuddle before he comes in the job, he's not the man for the job then.
Aye, I think, Derek, if Rangers were to come to either me or you and offer us a job 6 weeks down the line after we're first linked to it, we would still jump at the chance. It's just the whole thing. The statement for me though was just that was a very amateurish for me. I think we could have went about that a hell of a lot better and made us look a lot better. But I was just glad that the stories had came out that money wasn't the issue, because the first thing that the vast majority of the haters out there basically said was that we couldn't afford them and we didn't have the money, but apparently that was all agreed. It was all there, and there was even transfer fees agreed as well, apparently. So it certainly wasn't the money, which is good to hear for us. But it wasn't to be, Derek. I'm not, like I said, I'm not that disappointed that he didn't take it, because I wasn't too keen on him regardless to take it anyway. And Graham Murray's got my full support at the moment. He really has.
Yep. So obviously, Graham, one of the things that did come out in the statement, that Murty's going to be in place till the end of the year. Some fans, can't clearly read, and they thought, oh, that's the end of the season. No, it's the end of the year, end of 2017. So with a bit of luck, with somebody by the games in January, somebody will be appointed. But that's the more frustrating thing. It's not the fact that, as you said, we didn't get Derek McInnes. It's the fact that there's no plan B there. Once again, if they've drawn up a shortlist, then surely that shortlist means that they've got a second choice manager if the McInnes thing didn't work out. So why are they not instantly going after him then?
Yeah. So, or again, like we said, Derek, was McInnes the plan B?
Well, quite possibly. So
yeah, and the more and more this pans out, it looks to me as if McInnes was the plan B. That's what that's the way I'm reading it. I'm not going to mention the names that have been linked, but I just get the feeling that we were holding off, and I think there was a possibility of their first choice manager saying yes, and then as soon as that fell through, it was McInnes after that. That's the way I see it. People are slating the board and saying how amateurish they all are. These guys are all very successful businessmen, Derek. You know what I mean? They're not there by chance. Do you know what I mean? These guys know what they're doing. I'm not going to say that I agree with everything that's went on, but to think that they've just been sitting about humming and hawing all this time, and one of them eventually says, "Oh, I know what. Let's just go for Derek McInnes." I don't think it's like that. And as I say, the more it pans out, I think that McInnes has been the plan B, and the plan B has now, it's not happened, and they've basically not had a plan C. So that's what's happened. Or Graham Murty has been the plan C for the time being, and that's what's happened. But it's one of these things. I just hope everybody now just goes on and supports Graham Murty now for the next few games, and I really, really hope he's successful, because I think he's shown that he's been able to organise the group of players that's there and actually get them playing some good stuff.
Yep. So into the games we've got to cover. The first game was Sunday the 3rd of December away to Aberdeen, and we won 2-1. Certainly, I think most of us, certainly after the 3-0 win at home, we would have kind of settled for a draw, I think, to be honest.
Yeah, I think so.
But to come away with another win under, again, dodgy circumstances because our referees was absolutely fantastic. No, I don't think anybody would have seen us getting 6 points from 6 out of these two games.
No, definitely not. As you say, I think we all thought. I mean, don't get me wrong. Aberdeen's best player, like we mentioned before, was Ryan Christie, and Christie was out of that game. So we knew that their main player, their main playmaker, was going to be out, which was going to give us a chance. But then when I saw that Bruno Alves was out of the starting lineup, which I'm sure you're going to get into, I thought, we might be toiling here, but fair play to them, they've done well.
Yep, so we lined up Fotheringham, Tavernier, Wilson, Bates, John, McCrory, Holt, Jack, Pena, Windass and Miller. On the subs bench we had Anik, Hodgson, Cardoso, Barjonas, Candias, Herrera and Morelos. So in the 4th minute, Windass was in on goal. He knocked the ball by the keeper, but he went down in a pathetic way and got himself booked for a dive. Quite justified yellow card.
Definitely.
Let the other team in Glasgow go down and dive. Don't try and copy them just because they seem to get penalties all the time for it. On the 12th minute, there was a shocking challenge by Shinnie on Tavernier, and he got a yellow card for it. And we went 1-0 up on the 13th minute. It was Scott Wilson there, that's taking
you're going back time there,
It was Danny Wilson, a great long range free kick from the right hand side from Declan John from about 16 yards. Wilson jumps up, hits a looping header into the far corner. Unbelievable header, superb.
Great goal, flighted perfectly. Goalkeeper had absolutely no chance, just sort of looked right over him, right into the top corner. It was a great goal.
Yep. On the 22nd minute, a completely ridiculous and shocking challenge by McLean on the ankle of Holt. No attempt to play the ball whatsoever. Foul given, but no card at all. It was a joke of a decision by the referee, considering what was to come.
Exactly.
31st minute, good play from Pena, taking the ball, holding it up for Windass to unleash a shot from 20 yards, forcing a great save from the keeper. It was clearly going in. The keeper done well to get a hand
I know. It was a great it was a great save. It really was.
Yep. And the 44th minute, Aberdeen had a header off the bar after the free kick was floated in. A bit of luck involved there. And in the 45th minute, just after, there was a clear free kick on the edge of the Aberdeen box to us, but the referee blows for half time. Scandalous decision, you know. It was I think it was only 45 minutes and 15 seconds. We were up the end, and he blows for half time.
I know.
That was maybe a sign of things to come, obviously, with that Willie Gollum.
Yeah.
Into half time, Wilson, who had picked up a head knock, came off, and Cardoso came on. 49th minute was great play and movement from with Windass laying off for Penna. Great pass to Miller, takes it into the box and hits a shot and forces a good save from the keeper.
Yeah, the pass that Penna put through for Miller with that was absolutely sensational, Derek. I don't know if you can look back. It was sort of outside of the foot through to him, right in front of him, and Miller, I know it was kind of on the sort of half volley, but you would expect him to score with that kind of chance, but what a ball through with Penna.
Yep. On the 52nd minute, another bad foul by Shinnie. A foul given, but no card was given again. And he would bear in mind he was already in a yellow at this point.
Yep.
Players were were going up to Willie Collum and saying to him, I want a card, and he was clearly seen telling Windass, I'm the referee.
Yeah, I know.
3 minutes later, just the most baffling decision I've ever seen in my life. Red card for Ryan Jack for basically passing the ball. Now, we've not really spoken about this, Dave, so what were your thoughts on it?
I think, like the vast majority of folk, Derek, there was a 50-50. There was a ball to be won. Ryan Jack went in to win it, and Stevie May, at the very last minute, pulled out. Ryan Jack put his foot right through the ball, won the ball. The momentum took his foot down, as it would, because that's what happens with gravity. His foot came down on to Stevie May. Now it was a hard challenge. It came down. You seen Stevie May's ankle buckle. The referee, straight red card. Now there was no way that Ryan Jack, he won the ball and the momentum took his foot in. Now, see when you watch it back on an instant replay, Derek, and it's slowed right down, you think to yourself, he's got a bad one there. But because it's slowed right down, that contact is made after the ball is struck, and it looks bad. But in real time, he wins the ball and puts his foot down instantly, and it just so happens to land on his ankle. So to me, it certainly wasn't a red card. You could maybe have went so far as to say, it was maybe a foul, but even then, I think you would be struggling. And I think just because everybody's seen it in slow motion, that they think that it was, a shocking challenge, and it really wasn't. He won the ball, and if May had went in, full force as well, he probably wouldn't have got injured, and the game would have played on. So I certainly don't it definitely wasn't a red card for me anyway. I know you feel exactly the same way as myself.
Yeah, I don't even think it was a foul. It was a pass, as you said. He went in with expecting a challenge. Stevie May shat it, and seems to be a feature of bloody Aberdeen people, isn't it, between a manager and their players shiting it. But as you said, gravity. Where else could he put his foot? He never moved it in an unnatural position. He never kicked out. He done exactly the way you're meant to play a ball, and he gets a red card for it.
Question: if that had been Jason Holt doing that tackle, would Jason Holt have been sent off?
I think he was desperate to give anybody in blue a card, to be honest, given the fact that...
That's the thing about Willie Collum. There's a lot of people have been saying, he's biased, he's this and he's that. I just think that Willie Collum has got a huge ego, Derek, especially when it's the big live game. He wants to be seen as the man that's making all the decisions and the man that's, making the controversial decisions. And I think it just proved that again. He's always been like that, Collum. He's always, the referee with the biggest ego in Scotland. I don't particularly think he's a bad referee, but he does have that streak in him where it's like, I'll just dish the cards out here and there. And I think, again, that's what happened. And I honestly think because it's Ryan Jack, that certain referees now are desperate to bring the cards out for him. And I think that if Jason Holt had done that tackle, he wouldn't have got any cards for that at all.
No. Well, certainly we did appeal it anyway, and surprise, surprise, it never got rescinded, and he's now facing a 3-game ban.
Yeah, which is a nightmare.
For passing the ball. That's exactly what it is, and another player shiting out of it. But it's quite clear that Ryan Jack and Rangers are getting held to a different standard when it comes to playing football. So. Yeah. Anyway, we've shuffled things about a bit. Penna came off and Candias came on in the 57th minute, and amazingly we got a goal in the 62nd minute by Josh Windass.
Yeah.
Good run by Tavernier with the ball. Great pass to Candias in the right wing. First time cross on the deck, finds Windass who taps it home. Fantastic goal.
It was a brilliant goal, yeah.
And I was just about to write "fuck you Aberdeen" on Twitter, and we let in a goal 2 minutes later to go 2-1. Needless free kick given away by Tavernier from 25 yards up and over the wall into the top left corner. Foderingham got a hand to it, but he couldn't keep it out.
Now, Derek, I think it was a spectacular goal he scored, but I've seen a few people have been saying that they think that Foderingham could have done a wee bit better. Personally, I don't think so. I think it was just, another one of these goals like what they did last year against us. You could hit 20 of these shots and not one of them, will go in after that. It was a spectacular goal. But I don't know about you, Derek. I, at that point, still felt quite confident, even although we were down to 10 men, because I think that the team were that well organised and the game plan that they had set out, that I was still feeling confident even when Aberdeen scored that goal.
Yeah, I mean, I've actually literally got no more notes for the game because I felt that we might have got pummeled, but we certainly never. We still fairly controlled the game after that.
Yes.
So, fantastic to hold on. It was a wee bit nervy towards the end, quite obviously, but we held out and got the victory. Fantastic, and what can I say about that?
Exactly, no, and you've got to take your hat off to the likes of David Bates, who, let's be honest, the last few games he had for Rangers, he had a bit of a nightmare by his standards, and you were maybe a bit worried at the start, but I thought he was outstanding. Bates had done everything he was supposed to do. Superb. He won, just about every ball in the air, and even the likes of Cardoso coming back in as well. Done, absolutely brilliant as well in defence, and it just feels to me, Derek, like there's a lot more organisation in the team, and that can only come down to Graham Murray. Just simple defending, simple passing of the ball, simple, getting themselves set up for defence and then going into attack. I felt that we were just again. Maybe not as flashy as we were in the week before at Ibrox, but this was a completely different game playing at Pittodrie, and he set the team out perfectly again. Derek, his tactics were spot on, and he had them playing as a unit, and it was great. It was great to see, and it was actually good to see us getting a bit more pressure on us and being able to deal with it, especially in the atmosphere at Pittodrie. It was great.
Yep. So into the next game here, Saturday the 9th of December, I was a 2-1 win at home to Ross County. We lined up Foderingham, Tavernier, Alves, Wilson, John, McCrory, Holt, Candias, Penna, Windass and Miller. On the subs bench we had Kelly, Bates, Hodgson, Barjonas, Cranchard, Herrera and Morelos. Obviously on a high from the two Aberdeen games. This was going to be the third game in a row. It was a bloody turgid affair, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, it was, Derek. I was expecting it to be a turgid affair. I was expecting it to be. Now, somebody actually said that this game... I'll wait until you get to the end of the game because I've got a stat here for you and I want you to tell me if it's true or not, but I'll let you get on with the commentary of the match, especially the first half was really, really tough going.
Yeah, I'm not really want to spend too much. I've got a few notes here, but we had a chance with Miller in the 8th minute where he chested it down, hits a half volley from 25 yards and went over the bar. The goal we lost in the 9th minute was down the right hand wing, half-hearted challenge from Wilson who came out, great cross into the box to find the headed unmarked attacker. Probably should have been picked up by Wilson, however he was still coming back from the previous challenge and it was a simple kind of tap in again. Poor goal to lose.
Yep, it definitely was, and again, everybody's sitting there thinking, "Oh, here we go again. Can anybody win 3 games in a row?" You know, it's not going to be your day, but thankfully we managed to turn it around.
Yeah. 16th minute, Tavernier hits a good shot in the box, forces a good save from the keeper. 20th minute, Ross County had a shot from 25 yards, weak effort right at the keeper, but it was a comfortable save. Just after that, there was a good play with Windass to Holt, squared it to Miller and shoots from 7 yards, forces a good save for the keeper out for the corner. 37th minute, Candias down the right hand wing, puts in a cross, defender miskicks it, falls to Miller and puts it over the bar. 38th minute, Windass hits a fast paced shot from 20 yards, gets it on target right at the keeper. It was a decent effort. And then half time hit, and the players got, from my perspective, quite rightly booed. There was no movement in the team at all. They just didn't seem up for it. There was a point in that half as well where McCrory, and I think this is where he picked up the injury, he went full force into a challenge, fully committed, got the ball, passed it to Candias, didn't seem interested in even receiving the ball, lost the ball, didn't even try to get the ball back, and he was just strolling back after that. And I was like, that's not the type of play we want, and that typified the team. I said in the reaction pods put out just after the game that quite rightly the team got booed. You retweeted something later on that night saying, backing up somebody saying that I wish the fans would stop booing players at half time. What's your opinion on the booing?
I didn't like it, Derek, to be honest with you. I know you're saying that quite rightly they got booed, but I don't think that it helps at all. I think that it gets players' backs up, especially at half time. And I certainly, we wouldn't be doing it. It's still only 1-0. Didn't get me wrong, Derek. If it had been 3 or 4-0 at half time, then fair enough. I'd probably been doing it myself. But at that stage against that team, when we've not played well, knowing that we could play a hell of a lot better, and it is only half time, I think more encouragement is required rather than booing.
I think it was to do with the lack of effort the players were putting in. They just didn't seem up for it at all. I mean, you quite clearly seen that Ross County were up for it and they were chasing everything. And I've said time and time again, I've never seen a Rangers team going back from when I started watching Rangers that can handle a team that chase them and chase every ball. And I don't know why we do it, because we've done that in the first game against Aberdeen there and it worked perfectly. So I wish our players would do it more. And, I've seen us been going down 1-0 before and we've played no bad, and come half time and they haven't got booed. I think, to be honest, as I said, it was about the lack of effort in the team.
Okay.
And I sent you this message, and I said my dad it as well. I says it's not about ability, because the players clearly have got the ability. It's not about formations, because we've played several formations and we've played well with it. It's not about the manager, because as the third manager some of these players are. I think it's for a lot of these players, for a lot of the time, it's about the mental capacity playing for us. I just don't think a lot of them have got it sometimes, and they seem to switch off. You can't switch off when you play for us, and that's the lack of mental capacity I think some of them have got.
I don't know. There's a few that I know we're getting off track here, but there's quite a lot of players who have came into the team that are not from these parts, Derek. You've got to look at guys like Pena, who in one game looked sensational, and then you look at that game against Ross County, just didn't look interested at all, and quite rightly got taken off because he didn't play well at all in the first half. But I don't know if you can say that about the likes of him having the mental capacity to play for a club like Rangers, because he's really not got the background to know what it is all about. It is a big club, but he played for a huge club in Mexico as well. I don't know if it's maybe a lot of the players see a club like Ross County and think to themselves, oh, we're at home, we're playing one of the so-called wee teams, but we didn't really have to turn up here. And that's maybe at the back of their mind. I don't know. I hope not, but that's possibly the explanation that we've got for when we play certain teams like that at home. It was the same, for the 2 games that we got beat against Hamilton and against Dundee. There's maybe, the players were saying, well, we didn't really have to turn up and do much here because these teams are crap. It's maybe that's what it is. Yeah. I don't know.
So into the second half then, Pena came off and Morelos came on. I said at the time, I think it was just a victim of circumstance. He never played particularly badly, but he never played particularly well either. So
I don't know. I thought he was very quiet considering the way he had been playing. The last few games, Derek. I thought he was very, very quiet. Same with Kenny Miller, but again, I think we're getting back to the old thing of Kenny will not get dropped now. Do you know what I mean? Which is quite worrying as well, but thankfully that didn't cost us.
No. 52nd minute, the ball from the left from John, it flashes in front of the goal. Morelos right there. All it needed was a touch, and it would have been in the back of the net, cleared empty net, but it evaded him. I think just the pace got him, and maybe his lack of sharpness as well. But certainly his lack of sharpness didn't affect him on the 58th minute because he got a goal and we drew one each. Great knock in from Miller to Candias down the right hand side. Candias takes the ball forward to the edge of the box, puts it across, and Morelos with a first time shot from 6 yards past the keeper. Fantastic, good confidence booster for Morelos as well.
Definitely, yeah, he was needing that, it really was.
I don't think this has been picked up on, and I've seen it at the time. When Miller knocked the ball on out to the right hand side to Candias, it was quite clear Candias was getting the ball. Miller started to go chasing after the same ball as well, and then he backed out of it and then he floated into the middle. Why was he doing that? I don't know. I think Miller sometimes has got it in his head that he needs to do everything on the field and he can't.
Yeah.
I think sometimes it's maybe a trust issue with Miller. He feels as he has to drop back, he has to do everything, and that's maybe his big problem. He thinks it's all on him, and it's not.
Possibly.
Because there was no need for him to not go chasing after the same ball. Considering he'd knocked it out to the right hand side, our player was going to clearly get it. So why, instead of giving that player an option to pass back to, he bloody chases after the ball himself?
Yeah.
Baffling.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We played fairly okay for the next 5 minutes after that, but then we dulled back down again and we started playing like we were back in the first half. Into the 70th minute, Windass in on goal, brilliant tackle in the box. From where I was sitting, it looked as if it was a penalty, but on another video replay when I've seen it back again, it was a fantastic tackle, very similar to Moore's tackle on Viduka. That time we put him on his arse but got the ball at the same time.
Yeah.
Fantastic tackle for the Ross County player there. 2 minutes later, 72nd minute, McCrory came off injured, Barjonas came on, and he made a decent impact, I felt. On the 78th minute, Barjonas had a shot just wide of target, and then on the 82nd minute we went 2-1 up with Danny Wilson getting the goal. Great free kick in from the right hand side from Tavernier, great run with the header from Windass, saved by the keeper, but it was only saved right into the path of Wilson, who heads it back into the net.
Yeah, no, well done. Sort of poacher's instinct there, and 2 goals in 2 games for him there.
Exactly. Miller on the 85th minute had a possible cross, but it was a looping thing and it hits off the bar. So not too sure, but unlucky anyway. And in the 92nd minute, it was a bit of stramash in our box. Eventually went out for a goal kick. I'm surprised the ref never blew in favour of us, because it's the usual thing you do when there's a big stramash like that and there's players down in the box. Owen Coyle claimed that there should have been a penalty to Ross County. I'm really not sure how he got to that decision, because looking back at it, it was his own player that fell over one of our players who was already on the deck after being fouled. So Owen Coyle was an absolute fanny all game, by the way. He's a moaning-faced tumsheed, basically.
Yeah.
And on the 93rd minute, just a wee token gesture to Herrera, probably to give him his playing bonus. Miller came off and Herrera came on.
Yeah, I think it was maybe to try and run the clock down a wee bit, Derek, because they were desperate for that victory. Yep. For us 3 games in a row thing and that. So this a bit of a shocking performance, but delighted with the 3 points in any case. Now, Derek, am I right in saying that that's the first time we've beat Ross County at Ibrox?
That's probably correct, because the first season we played them, I think we drew every game, or we lost one of them.
Yep. And so I think that's probably. I'm sure I read that somewhere. If I'm wrong, please let me know that I'm wrong, but I'm sure that that's our first ever victory at Ibrox in the league against Ross County, which is, that's quite incredible if you think about it, Derek. But certainly a bit of a bogey team for us. They didn't play well, Derek. They really didn't, right? Not to the standard that they have been the last few games. but I'm just so impressed that they still managed to, get that result by not playing well. I think that result there is a huge, huge boost for the team to show them that even although they weren't playing well and maybe the heads were going down, they still managed to score 2 goals and win the game, which is fantastic, and it's what we have been lacking. What I think anyway is just that ability to win really ugly. And we managed to do it. So no, I was delighted with 3 points, Derek.
Yep, absolutely. Notable mentions I've got to say here is I think because he's been playing up front, as Windass we've been pretty good. Never done anything outstanding, bear in mind, and he did score 1 goal, but certainly I think over the last 4 or 5 games maybe he's been pretty decent up front, and maybe that's his natural position.
Yeah, he actually came out and said that, Derek, in a very recent interview. I don't know if it was today or yesterday, but he was getting there was mention of it in the press conference today, where he says that for the first time since he's been at Rangers, he really feels that his natural position, he really feels the benefit of playing there, and also fully praise for the caretaker manager at the moment as well for giving him that shot. And I think he's enjoying playing the now, and as you say, he's confidence sky high the now, and he's certainly causing a lot of problems. But I mean, we slated the guy. I know I did constantly, but I really can't fault him playing up front, and it gives the manager a headache now, a good headache, as to who his 2 main strikers are going to be. I know in my mind who they would be, but I just get the feeling that Miller will not be dropped. We're going back to the way it was last season with Miller, and I think he maybe does need a wee spell on the sidelines, or he come on for the last half hour in a match. I think he would probably do better then, but I got a feeling that he's just not going to get dropped. But no. we say this on every pod now, don't we? We say that in the last 2. Because as you say, he's not being as effective, and he's not being as effective because he's dragging himself into positions in the park that he shouldn't be, when he's really, he should be getting himself into the box or getting himself forward at least to try and create chances if he's not going to be in there to score them, and it's not happening, So,
well, that point I just mentioned about the goal there typifies what he's been doing.
Aye, I know.
Anyway, leaves us with played 17 games, won 10, which is only 1 less than the unwashed, by the way. Drawn 3, lost 4, scored 35, conceded 19, goal difference plus 16 on 33 points. We're joint second just now with Aberdeen. We've got a far superior goal difference. 5 behind Celtic, who've got a game in hand, 3 points ahead of Hibs and 10 ahead of Motherwell. Considering how shit we've been this year, we are only 5 points behind Celtic. That's pretty impressive, I think, is it not?
It is, Derek, and as you say, I think we can maybe only count 1 or 2 games at the most where we've actually, said that we've played well this season. So for us to be still in that position, not playing well, and a man coming in as a caretaker manager and basically taking that squad and getting them organised for us to be in that position now is fantastic. And surely, touch wood, that things can only get better from now, Derek. And and I'm hoping it continues into the next game.
Yeah, I think it's got a lot to do with Celtic as well, though. They've dropped I heard a stat, and it was before the weekend there, that they've already dropped more points this year in the amount of games they've played than they dropped the whole of last year. So it goes to show that they're not the biggest, they're not the Invincibles, and they've been lucky in a good few games this year.
Well, as I say, we can only hope that when they are beaten, that that starts a sort of chain of events and their confidence drop, because as you say, they've rode their luck on more than a number of occasions now, so surely the luck has got to run out at some point. But we can only concentrate on our own game just now, Derek, and as I say, I was delighted with the 3 points there, the fact that we didn't play well and we got that monkey off our backs as well of playing, winning 3 games. So Graham Murray was very honest in the press conference earlier on. We take 1 game at a time, and they go out to win, not to try and prove to anybody that there's something. They go out to win just for the footballing reasons only, to have pride in themselves, and go out just to fight. And that's what he wants for the team, and that's what he's getting for the team just now, which is good to see.
Yep, absolutely. And I don't think it's just the luck that Celtic's been riding, because I think they've been riding a few fucking referees as well with the decisions they've been getting.
Very good, mate. Very good.
So the games to come, we have the next game is tonight by the time this comes out, Wednesday the 13th of December away to Hibs. It's a 19:45 kickoff.
Yep.
Saturday the 16th of December at home to St Johnstone. I'm going to need to rush away just before that game finishes, and there'll not be a reaction pod out by me because I've got a works night out to go to. We'll try and get a pod out, but just after the St Johnstone game. The next game after that is Saturday the 23rd of December. It's away to Kilmarnock, 12:30 kickoff, and the last game before the Old Firm game is Wednesday the 27th of December at home to Motherwell. That's a 19:45 kickoff. So we'll now go into the boardroom. Just a couple of points to make in the boardroom this week. Obviously, after the AGM, the resolutions were voted on, and I don't think it was the best part of a week, the results taken to come out. But all resolutions got voted through. All the directors got voted back on. I think they all got around about 98% of the vote to vote them back on. And more importantly, Resolution 10 and Resolution 11 got passed as well, which allows the board to go ahead with a share issue. So it means in the near future there's going to be investment coming in. Some of the loans converted into shares. Existing shares will be diluted, obviously, it means. And the board are effectively, I don't know all the ins and outs of it, but they can effectively go and do a share issue without going through various proceedings. Again, I don't know much about it, but it means, certainly that fresh investment can come in. A bit of a strange one, I think, though, that Resolution 11 only passed by 78.3%. Now, the pass mark was 75%, and it only failed last year by 0.5%, and it was blamed on, obviously, one of the reasons was Alan McCoy's not voting.
Yes.
But given the fact that that Mike Ashley had 9% of that, you would have thought that there would have been into the kind of 80% fact that for this. So it means that the existing, bearing in mind we've still got the Easdale's shares there, it appears to be that there's maybe been some undecided and or people that have kind of not been swayed by or have changed their mind since the last year. So bit concerning that, but we'll wait and see on that one. On the back of that, it was announced, I think it was 2 days ago now, that Barry Scott has been appointed as a director. He was the Hong Kong-based businessman who contributed to the £6.5 million loan last year, which effectively got rid of Mike Ashley's shares.
And bang! And the Ashley's gone.
He's a lifelong fan. Don't know really much about him, but certainly it can only be a good thing.
And he's definitely no the boy for the Sillet Bang adverts, Derek.
No.
I wish it was, actually. He's probably worth an absolute fortune.
A bit strange, and a few people have mentioned this, the fact that why wasn't it tabled at the AGM that this was going to happen. I don't know if this was as a result of the resolutions passing or not, but just seems strange that he can walk straight onto the board. That not going to knock the guy because he's clearly there to do a job. Does raise a question though about Club 1872, given the fact that they're the second biggest single shareholder, and they haven't got a seat on the board. They have been fairly quiet through the aftermath of the AGM. However, they did come out with a statement saying that they've got a meeting arranged with Stuart Robertson shortly to discuss unanswered AGM questions. Now, for me, it's just raised a question about this. A lot of people have been saying, well, Club 1872 surely should have a representative on the board because of their shareholding. Now, that's probably quite correct, but there's always been accusations about them being far too cosy with the board as it is, and the board's puppets. So, for me, can you really have it both ways? You can't turn around and accuse them of being too cosy with the board one minute, then want a member on the board as well. Surely that causes them up even more.
It is a hard one, Derek, and quite a puzzling one as well. We're just going to have to wait and see what comes, of this meeting that they're going to have to see how, it pans out and how they portray themselves as being sort of pro-board or, feeling that they're not happy with the board. But only time will tell. When's that meeting taking place, do you know?
I'm not too sure. I never read too much into it, but I think it's quite shortly within the next week.
Right, okay.
So that really kind of wraps up the boardroom. I'm glad the boardroom sections are getting shorter.
Yeah, definitely.
So we'll move out into the classic match.
Oh, excellent, okay.
Manchester, brace yourself. Rangers are coming!
Dave, you've got a bit of a very good European result for us.
Oh, Derek, this, I actually can't believe that we've not covered this one before, because this is, without a doubt, looking back, and maybe someone else will come away with a different opinion here, but in my experience, the first half in this match was probably the best performance that Rangers have ever had playing in a major European competition. It was a group stage of the Champions League. It was on the 16th of September 2000, and Rangers were playing Sturm Graz, who in the Champions League group stages there. Now, there was some fantastic players on show for Rangers, and I will always remember this game, Derek. I was there. I can always seem to remember this game for it being Alan Johnston, believe it or not, who I thought was an absolute star the night, but it wasn't just him. The whole team were absolutely fantastic, and as I say, the first half hour, some of the football and show was just absolutely phenomenal, especially at that level in the group stages. And this game gets forgotten about, Derek. I don't know if you had forgotten about it or not or whatever, but you know, if a certain team for across the city was to play like this in a Champions League group stage, it would be plastered all over. You would never hear the end of it, but because they were absolutely sensational. But the Rangers lineup for that day, and as I say, this incredible team, and you look back, Stefan Klos in goals. They had a back four of Big Bert Konterman, Lorenzo Amoruso, Arthur Newman, and Claudio Reyna, who was actually playing at right back for this game. Into midfield that day, you had Barry Ferguson, Ronald de Boer, George Alberts, and Giovanni van Bronckhorst. I mean, what a team, Derek. Just the midfield alone. And then up front for Rangers that night, well, it was actually in midfield, it was Alan Johnson on the right, because Ronald de Boer was playing as a sort of support player for Michael Malls, who Michael Malls at this point was just, absolutely sensational. So thinking back, Derek, it was the old Nike MTL strip, which I absolutely loved, absolutely cracking, looked the part, and we went out to Ibrox. Absolutely, the noise was sensational that night. And when you look back on YouTube, and again, I want everybody to go back and watch it, right at the start of the game, I don't know if you've seen it or not, Derek, when you look back, but just the big smile on Michael Malls' face right in the starting when they were doing the lineup at the team that were out, and it was as if he was just looking about it to say, I'm finally here, this is the stage I want to play, and he was fantastic in this game. So anyway, the game started off, there was a few half-hearted chances here and there, long shots along the ground, well saved, but then it was in the 9th minute that Rangers really started to get their dominance in this game, and that was when we opened the scoring, and it was some great play here.
Here Johnson did well to put it in. Alberts can't get the shot, ball bouncing just a little bit high, and that's a goal. Michael Malls puts it away. 9 minutes, and the Austrian defence caught out in the goal line, and Malls comes back with that glory goal for Rangers.
Alan Johnson to George Alberts. He tried a through ball, Alberts, but it kind of was looping away. The defender left it to go out for a goal kick, but the intuition, Ronald de Boer, he knew where Michael Malls was. He ran with the defender and managed to hook the ball back in to the penalty spot, and there was Michael Malls, first time shot, hits the ground, scores. Ibrox are up, only 9 minutes on the clock, and already we're 1-0 up. The away team had, a couple of chances just after that, a cross and a shot which was just wide, nothing to trouble Kloss. And then we really should have doubled our lead on the 16th minute. Barry Ferguson to Alan Johnson. Back to Barry Ferguson, a ball to Claudio Reyna, who then again back to Barry Ferguson to Arthur Newman. I mean, the play was incredible. A cross which was headed back over to Alan Johnson, who hit the ball on the volley. It was a sort of pass volley that came cracking off the post. Should have been 2-0. But then we didn't have to wait much longer. Just 2 minutes later,
Alan Johnson tried to tantalise him, and that's it. It's a great goal. Ronald de Boer makes it 2-0. 19 minutes gone. And the Dutchman has had an enormous influence on the game as he scores.
He has been
Rangers second.
Michael Malls with a sensational turn on the left-hand side, there was like 3 men on him, Derek, beats all 3 of them, puts in a great cross. There was no one there though with the cross. If there had been somebody at the back post, they probably would have scored it, but there was no one there. The ball went out to the right at the corner, but Alan Johnson was there. He picked it up at the corner flag. He puts in a near post cross, and Ronald de Boer seen everything that was going on. He slid in to stab it home at the near post to make it 2-0 to Rangers. Just some sensational play. We just never let up at all. 2-0, and then another great chance for Rangers, and just a few minutes after that we really were piling the pressure on. 21 minutes played, Michael Malls, who was tackled right in the edge of the box. Now, Derek, I was sure it was a penalty. Looking back, even on the replays, it looks as if it was just inside the box, but the referee didn't give it inside the box. He gave us it just outside, and who else would you let take a free kick for the edge of the box but George Albertz? Well, he steps up and he just hits this shot and rockets it. How the goalkeeper manages to keep it out, I don't know, because he belted it, but a fantastic save by the goalkeeper. Sturm Graz had another half chance which they shot over on the 26th minute, and then Michael Malls burying his head in his hands. Just a minute later, Malls, who cut the ball back to Albertz, he shoots over. He really should have scored there. Unbelievable. And then on the 28th minute we got the third goal.
Here's Newman. Beautifully played by Malls. Now Johnston. Tried to slip inside. Van Bronckhorst. Now Albertz, he must let fly. He does! Oh, marvellous strike. 29 minutes gone in the game, and George Albertz comes back with the veritable bang. A superb strike and great play.
Just constant pressure. This time it was just some great inter-passing play again. Arthur Newman to Malls, a great forward ball on for Albertz. He crossed the ball to Reyna on the right hand side. Reyna picked the ball up, a wee flick out to Alan Johnson, who then found Reyna again on the edge of the box. Reyna just looked up and he seen Giovanni Van Bronckhorst making a late run to the edge of the box, and he just plays the perfectly weighted ball right in front to Giovanni Van Bronckhorst. He turns round, passes it to who else? George Albertz, and he just dinks this shot low and hard with a bit of curl on it right into the bottom corner and off the post. Just some fantastic play. The way of the pass from Reyna to Van Bronckhorst, who was running through, and then the way that Van Bronckhorst was just able to know instinctively where George Albertz was at that point to lay it on for him. Great shot, great goal. The noise at that point was incredible. There'd only been 29 minutes played by that point, and already we were 3-0 up. It was just sensational. We then had another chance just a minute after that, Derek. Barry Ferguson to Claudio Reyna, who shoots for the edge of the box, but it was well saved. And then a gilt-edged chance there, across from Ronald de Boer to Michael Malls. this was the one that I was thinking about a minute ago, that he had his head in his hands because he was completely unmarked just past the penalty spot. All he had to do was tap in, but it went over the bar. And then they got played out to half time. The away team really were just hitting and hoping balls. They were completely hemmed into their own half. So into the second half, 3-0 to Rangers, cruising, but we never let up the play at all. In the 50th minute, Arthur Newman to Van Bronckhorst with a long cross which was cleared back to Alan Johnston, who again hit a shot off the top of the bar. So unlucky that he didn't score there. And then we had the chance to score the fourth goal.
Here's De Boer. Oh, that surely is a penalty kick, yes. He wants that very well.
Definite penalty.
Looking at it very carefully. Well, misses one again.
Lift it.
And that just passed. Yes, he's annoyed with himself.
Ronald De Boer, in a wee mazy run at the edge of the box, he just comes into the corner of the box. He's brought it down, clear penalty. George Albert steps up, but pretty lackadaisical for Albert's right down the middle. Goalkeeper saved it. But Ronald De Boer was in on the rebound there, but the ball just went past the post, so really should have scored a 4 there. But and then just a few minutes after that, the trademark defensive run of Lorenzo Amoruso, where he picked the ball up, plays a 1-2, and then he's running up, he's at the edge of the box, and just the ball from Ferguson just too far ahead of him, who would have scored a fantastic goal. Then on the 60th minute, Michael Mols, who'd ran himself into the ground, comes off for Billy Dodds, and then a few minutes later Dodds has a fantastic header which is saved by the goalkeeper. But only a minute after that, we finally scored the fourth goal.
Oh, it's slack again. Here's Ronald De Boer. Did that very neatly. Going himself. There's Van Bronckhorst! Oh, that's a superb goal! It really is. Brilliantly engineered by De Boer and finished almost as stunningly as the big German there by Van Bronckhorst. A great strike, but again De Boer at the root of it.
Ronald De Boer, a fantastic run, mazy run. He has about 3 players with him, keeps the ball, lays the ball off for Van Bronckhorst, who just hits like a sensational goal. This was the second, probably we scored 3 incredible goals. Albert's goal was the first one. This goal for me was even better. He absolutely pinged it. It just hit his foot perfectly, battered it right for the edge of the box, diagonally out, right through the goalkeeper. Absolutely no chance. Great goal by Giovanni Van Bronckhorst to make it 4-0. And then we left it a wee bit later after that, the 84th minute.
Good run, nice little reverse pass, Billy Dodds, he'll have a go at it. Oh, what a goal! Oh, that was intelligent. 85 minutes and Rangers rocketing away now, the 5th goal. One touch, little chip over the goalkeeper, and a delightful ending to this game, which has been full of not only explosive action but great artistry.
For me, goal of the night, this was sensational stuff. Kanchelskis had came on at this point. Klaus gets the ball, throws it out to Andre Kanchelskis, who plays the ball onto Van Bronckhorst, who plays a through ball to Billy Dodds. Now, Dodds isn't even in the box at this point. Derek's on the right hand side. He's running. He just turns round with the ball as cool as you like, sees the goalkeeper off his line and just chips this absolutely sensational ball right over the goalkeeper, right into the net. It was just absolutely sensational by Billy Dodds. He was the type of player that could do things like that. Absolutely sensational. We had seen some fantastic goals, but that for me was the best goal of the night. Brilliant stuff. And after that, we basically just played the game out like a training game, and the referee blew, for full time. And then you see a wee clip of the away manager in the dugout looking completely bemused. He had absolutely no answers for us, but we were just so good on this night. absolutely fantastic, sensational. Every single player, some class goals, some absolutely brilliant play, and a fantastic scoreline at the end of the night, and probably one of the greatest nights of European football that we've seen at Ibrox in a very, very long time. So if you get the chance to go and watch it, I would. And I know I say this about all the games, Derek, but that one especially is a special game to watch. So definitely go back and catch that one, because it was absolutely sensational.
You're right about being a game that you kind of forget about, because I forgot about it as well, which isn't, it was not a new thing for me either. But just absolutely devastating to watch that. It was incredible, just the way we were playing, the balls we were playing, the goals we scored, and there weren't any slouches either, because we ended up in the return leg getting beat 2-0 off them. So
I know, exactly. I was actually just thinking there, Derek, what the return leg of the score, the score was in the return leg when we were away. But again, it just shows you that the way that things pan out, because we would have probably went into that game thinking that we were going to get the 3 points, and it didn't happen. But we certainly, on that night, we were excellent. And I just always seem to remember Alan Johnson being the sort of star of the show that night, Derek, from when I was there. That's, how you always, you remember parts of games and think, oh, he had a great game. I just always seem to remember that for being Alan Johnson's night to shine for us. But just absolutely brilliant. So some of the goals on show were sensational.
Yep. So we'll have another classic match the next time.
Yes.
It's now into the news.
From ITN, the ITV News at 10 with Trevor McDonald.
First now we've been given permission to build a small stand at Auchenhowie for spectators to watch youth games, as well as facilities in the stand for youth teams, and floodlights also. Apparently there was issues about having multiple games on at the one time with all the pitches they've got there. They never had enough facilities for changing rooms and things. So if my memory serves me correct, it's the Rangers Fans Fighting Fund that's funding that. So
fantastic. Oh, that's good. Yep, excellent.
I'm not sure that's what the fund was actually set out for, but money's been sitting there for a couple of years now.
Yeah, so. Yeah. Oh well.
Yep. It's been confirmed that the Scottish Cup Round 4 game against Fraserburgh is to be played on Sunday the 21st of January at midday at Fraserburgh's ground at Bellslea Park, and it's live on TV. So fantastic for Fraserburgh there.
Yeah, definitely,
Yep. That's the first game we've got after the winter break as well, I believe. So
okay.
And the last piece of
I wonder who'll be in charge for that one.
Well, exactly. The last piece of Rangers news I've got here is Nacho Novo has opened his own bar less than a mile from Ibrox, and it's called NN10. So
that's right. Yes, no, I've seen that plenty. He's had plenty of coverage on there. So it certainly looks cracking. The pictures that I've seen of it. So the only other thing that I was going to say, Derek, was the press conference again today. Where the manager or the caretaker manager was being asked various questions about, was there anything in plan? Did he have any say in any possible targets and things? And certainly the way that he was talking was that this is going to be down to Mark Allen. He will get some say in it, but already there's been people being looked at as we speak by the director of football. I don't know what you think about that, Derek, if that, is the right way to go about things, before there's an actual manager in place, if that's the director of football's job. I always thought that the director of football was there to sort of go over possible targets that the managers had brought to their attention, if you know what I mean, rather than the other way about. Is that the way that you see it as well?
I think it's a bit of both. I mean, from what I believe is the director of football should be identifying potential players that suit the philosophy of the club. So whether that be they've decided to go for youngsters and young kind of local players, then that's what they go and look at. So I think we've done the whole thing arse over elbow, what we've done before, so we'll just need to wait and see how that works out. You were talking about a lot of coverage of the Nacho Novo bar there. Well, this player certainly had coverage. Lillestrøm player criticised after celebrating Norwegian Cup win by placing his genitals inside the trophy. Lillestrøm defender Alexander Melgavis Andreasen, I don't know how it's pronounced.
Okay.
It was his team he plays for, Anders Strassen. Norwegian Cup celebrations have been condemned by the country's FA after he was pictured using the trophy to cover his manhood.
That's brilliant,
He stripped naked during the Lillestrøm trophy parade on Monday evening before using the silverware to cover his genitals while fans and teammates watched on.
And I take it none of the rest of the players drank champagne out of it afterwards.
Well, I don't know, it might have been slightly tasting differently.
Aye. No, the best. I take it he must have been pissed when he was doing it,
Well, I'm not going to make a comment there. Irish villagers complain Viagra plant fumes have men and dogs walking around with hard-ons.
Okay.
Residents of tiny Irish village where Viagra is manufactured have complained that fumes from the nearby factory have been giving them a hard time. Pharmaceutical firm Pfizer, I think that's how you pronounce it, have produced the erectile dysfunction drug in Ringaskiddy. That's some fucking name, Ringaskiddy.
Ringaskiddy.
Probably not pronouncing that right either.
Big dog comes.
They've been producing it in the village for the last 2 decades. Villagers claim that the village's proximity to the factory and its love fumes have been given local men and even their canine friends enormous sexual powers. Barmaid Debbie O'Grady told the Sunday Times, "One whiff and you're stiff."
There's always a barmaid in there, isn't there? There's always a barmaid in the story. Aye. I bet she's no asking the guys if they want a quick stiff one when they come into the pub.
Exactly, aye. Pfizer have said in a statement that the stiff whiff was nothing more than an amusing myth. And there are no hard feelings.
I like how you done that one there, Derek. Well done.
So that wraps the podcast up for this episode.
Yep.
So, as ever, we've got our Facebook page at facebook.com/iReadyPod. Our Twitter is at iReadyPod. Our website as iReadyPodcast.wordpress.com. We've also got our Instagram, and we've also got our Facebook page as well, which has been doing quite a few views and such like. So certainly keep up that, and we'll keep the videos coming with the reactions as well.
Hopefully, I'm going to be, just with you saying, coming away with the fixtures there, Derek. I'm possibly maybe going to go to the Motherwell game on the 27th. So
brilliant.
We'll try and get a reaction pod straight after it, which I thought was excellent. We were able to do that, and again, it lets us stay up to date with everything, and gives people that listen to the pod a wee bit extra. And we thank everybody again for downloading and listening and subscribing to us. It's great.
Yep. So thanks for listening, and goodbye.
Yep. Take care, and in Murty we trust.
Manchester